Hey guys, Kelade here. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the patch 8.2 PTR. Unfortunately, after the last video was uploaded, Blizzard very quickly nerfed the Unbound Force, which we were talking about as being the best trait for Fear Warriors, right, upcoming 8.2. Unfortunately, there were actually 2 rounds of nerfs that have happened since then. The first round nerf that happened was the biggest one, right? It made it so instead of all direct damage, which includes auto attacks, giving you a stack if it doesn't crit, now it's only abilities and it's only a high chance to give you a stack, right? So there's 2 parts to that, right? It's no longer just autos or anything. Now it's actually an ability. You have to use an ability and it only has a high chance. So it's not even guaranteed if it doesn't proc to give you a stack. The other part of it, instead of once you do get the 20 stacks, you mean getting that 100% crit hit chance, instead of 6 seconds, it's now only 5. So got a double whammy there, unfortunately. So when I first saw these nerfs, it definitely seemed really bad, and it's still kind of bad, right? The nerfs that this trait received, but it might not be super horrible because abilities that were able to proc multiple stacks can still, for the most part, proc multiple stacks. For example, your Whirlwind can still proc 2 stacks. Your Rampage, I would assume, can still proc up to 4 stacks. In the 15 minutes, right, short 15 minutes I was testing this, I did get one where I hit a Rampage and I got 3 stacks. Blaze Storm was actually able to proc me 4 stacks. So it's still possible to get up there with stacks, but obviously it's going to be much harder. So your uptime on actually having the Reckless Force, which is what this thing procs into with the 100% crit hit chance, will definitely be lower. But I guess it's not the end of the world for this trait yet because that's still there. The other thing, the OP thing, is that Reckless Flurry still counts as an ability in regards to, I guess, to how it's coded. So every time that you auto attack with a Reckless Flurry as a trait, you're going to proc Reckless Flurry. That, for some reason, counts as an ability. So that can actually proc it. So if you can just sit there on a dummy, just auto attack with Reckless Flurry trait only, and you actually get stacks of this. So there's still, probably ways to make this work. It's definitely going to be weaker than it was when we tested the other day. Once Blizzard, allows vendors back on just the main PTR, we'll have a better test in front of a test dummy. Because right now I can only look at these and test it in the proving grounds, and it's not the best because you're going to add that you kill in like 10 seconds. So there it is. That's the thing for that. Now, the other thing I wanted to know, since now we know Reckless Flurry is counted as an ability, as an aside, right? Instead of just looking at Fury, we can also think about arms a little bit. What is interesting for arms is that, not even looking at that trait, just for like a meme spec, you could do as arms warriors, right? In the upcoming patch is you could go for Vision of Perfection, right? The passive that you get as part of the major power is that your spells and abilities have a chance to activate Blaze Storm for 35% of the base duration. Similarly to what we just talked about with the Unbound Force, your spells and abilities includes Reckless Flurry. So maybe there'll be a meme spec in arms where you actually get 1 Reckless Flurry in your gear, right? Reckless Flurry does proc even if you're playing arms. It procs if you're playing prot too, right? Just you have to be in Fury spec to pick it, but you can still wear the gear as arms or prot. It'll proc it, and you can just sit there and auto attack, and you just get free Blaze Storm from auto attacks. So that's a thing. So you could try that. It probably won't be the highest DPS build, but if you wanted to AFK in an LFR or something, just to make it look like you're actually DPSing, right? Put on Reckless Flurry, put on the Essence, and your character will just occasionally start Blaze Storming. So there's that. Oh, the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is the new PvP essences that we're going to see in the form of Conflict and Strife essences. So for both Fury and Arms, obviously it's going to be different ones. It is going to be Blizzard's picking a PvP talent and the major power, which is give you that PvP talent in all forms of play, either raid, Mythic Plus, PvP. You can basically have a 4th PvP talent, and then you can also have a PvP talent in PvE. Unfortunately, when they first announced it, it did seem like you could pick it, but that's not the case. It's pre-picked for you. So for example, Arms just gets Sharpened Blade. And it's okay, it's not really that great. I would have really liked it if Blizzard gave the Storm of Destruction, the Blaze Storm one for arms, because if you take Conflict of Strife and then you take Vision of Perfection, for example, let's say as the minor, you can actually have Blaze Storm on like a 53 second cooldown, and then basically you would be able to Warp Worker Blaze Storm every single pack in Mythic Plus, and it would probably make arms really viable for Mythic Plus. For Fury, I think the Fury one is probably even worse. The Fury one isn't great. I think there were definitely better options for Fury also. So right now for Fury, you're gonna get Battle Chance. It's the one that, you know, when you use Raging Blow twice on the same target, you regen health and you regen rage a little bit. It's not the best damaging one, of course, right? If you wanted the best damaging one, it would have been Enduring Rage, most likely. And then if you want to really meme it out, I think Death Wish would have been pretty interesting too. It's basically going to go back to the Legion version of Fury Warrior where you're going to do more damage, but you're also going to take more. So I would have rather liked to see one of these two happen. Just to be safe though, Enduring Rage probably would have been the safest choice, to be honest, because I don't see any situation where this isn't good. It's actually insane. Having Enduring Rage in PvE, maybe it would have been too strong. I don't really know, because if you have this talent, you basically have 100% uptime on your Enrage. So right now, Battle Chance, hopefully they change it. Blizzard did say that a lot of these traits are not set in stone, but I think that was more so pointed towards the really OP ones in PvE that were not going to be set in stone. So I'm not confident that Blizzard will really do much for the Warrior ones, but there's always hope, right? These could get a little bit better. So just want to talk to you about those two traits, right? The new Conflict and Strife, and of course, the nerfed Unbound Force. But as always, thanks for checking out the video, guys. Feel free to subscribe to see more. See ya. You can do it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it works. I think if you're in an LFR like that, and you just straight up AFK, and your guy just fucking spins around, people would think you're playing the game.